The following is a presentation of iRacing on PTR TV. We'd like to thank all of our channel partners for their support. Please like and subscribe to the channel, and we hope you enjoy today's broadcast.
After the few rounds that we've had here in Sim500, we've went to Daytona, we've went to Atlanta, we've went to Coda, we went to Phoenix last week, but this week, it's all about who's feeling lucky, who wants to roll the dice, and in the end, who can land big, who can hit the jackpot, who feels like playing things out. Is it this man, David Schildhouse, is going to strike another lucky run here in Sim500, or is somebody else going to decide to win through? Are we going to have a new winner here through? Of course, David's not the only driver that's won here. We've, of course, had more than just David, so anyone can bring things through. It's a long season. Cody Harris has got two. David's got two. But in the end, somebody's going to be looking for something somewhere. It's going to be interesting to see who can land it in the end, but somebody will. Welcome everybody here to PTR TV, where we are in Las Vegas. Qualifying is underway, and it is going to be myself, Brad Dalton, here in the booth, and joining me in the booth is going to be my good friend Kevin England up here with me. No Andre this week, but Kevin, we're going to have a lot of fun tonight, I think.
Yeah, this is what I would consider, I'm going to use this in air quotes, normal. A normal track, a mile and a half. These are the type of racetracks that drivers are comfortable with. And when they're comfortable with them, you're going to see a good race.
Yeah, I'm really hoping that the drivers are feeling it. Phoenix, if you didn't see Phoenix last week, I might have gotten myself in a little bit of trouble with somebody somewhere for my opinions of Phoenix. But of course, my opinions are my own, and I express my opinions as my opinions. And that's where we're going to leave that one. But you know, Phoenix was a challenging track. As you said it, this is kind of a normal style track that I think everybody's going to be comfortable with. And I think we should see some good aggressive racing. And, well, if you didn't watch NASCAR run this track yesterday, then I think you missed out on a good show because they had a pretty good run yesterday.
Yeah, these drivers have 125 laps to sort things out. And I suspect that we're going to see the opposite of what we saw at Phoenix last week. This racetrack tends to show green flag once they get kind of separated out after the restarts. And then it's mano a mano. These drivers have to really fight for the track position, fight for the draft, and make those passes best they can. We're hearing that the setup's pretty comfortable. Drivers getting around here pretty well, but it will loosen up with 10 to go, or 10 laps on the tires. So I do suspect that they are going to have their hands full. And, well, we have a couple interesting substitutions in here tonight, too, which should make the run interesting. I see Sean Macklin in the 94 car for John Fuller, and Jorgensen Jr. has a stand-in tonight in the number 88. Looks like Ryan D. Cook will be running that ride. And I think there's one more, I'm not sure, as that's a new feature with the season this year, is drivers who are going to miss a race. Maybe they're on vacation, maybe they have to work, maybe something going on, have a couple mulligans where they can slide someone else in. And happy to see also Ron Hollifield in the field tonight, making his debut for the 2025 season.
should be fun to watch and see what these drivers are able to put together. If you did notice there, we now have a new channel partner. All of these cameras you're seeing tonight are brought to you by Whiplash SimCams. They are providing all of the cameras for all of the PTR TV series that we'll have throughout the remainder of 2025. So if you want to know more about that, there is going to be a link in the description. And then, of course, you can always check them out, primetimeracingdv.com, and then just go to the tab there on the screen. So big shout out to Whiplash SimCams for all of the awesome camera angles you're going to get here tonight through Vegas. Qualifying's over. Qualifying is done and dusted. We have the substitutions in. We have the runs through. The points are in a pretty good position, I'd argue. Kind of looking through here, Kevin. And, you know, we, of course, have 2 race winners 2 ways, but then everything beyond that seems pretty close still. Now, of course, we are only, you know, round 5 of a 30-something round season, so still plenty of run here in the Cup roster for things to go through. We'll have to see what happens.
Yeah, thus far, you know, we have an interesting season in the context that 2 wins from David Schildhouse, 2 wins from Cody Harris, and I would have thought that we would see the veterans, the Sim500 folks, getting the victories here. But 2 for 2 for the new guys, both of them pulling down 2 wins, Schildhouse and Harrison. Will tonight be a Sim500 guy? I would keep an eye on that 51 of Justin Fuller. He's been running well enough to get himself a win, and it's going to be right around the corner. Maybe tonight he's going to hit the lottery with Las Vegas. As that 51, you can't keep it out of victory lane.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to watch and see what Justin Fuller can pull through. I do think that he's got something in the tank. I agree with you there. One that I'm also going to be watching is, well, I couldn't have timed that camera cut any better, but I was going to say I'm going to be watching Tyler Dalton, 1, because we share the same last name, so I want to see Tyler Dalton do something real well here. But 2, he seemed fast the last few weeks. We talked about him a lot in Phoenix. He seemed to be up there. Just, you know, sometimes when it mattered, he was in the right positions. I'm kind of curious to see what he can bring through. And then, of course, Charles Van Schaik. I know Van Schaik is a fast driver from other series, so I'd like to see what else can be there. There's a lot of these drivers that I think if they just play their cards right, they'll be in the right place.
Yeah, there's a couple drivers lurking right underneath the surface that could plug a win here. Jason Karlovage is one, and I would say keep an eye on Kevin DeBrown and Chad Coleman. These guys are long overdue for a victory, and this is the type of racetrack that somebody could break out and get that long-awaited win.
Yeah, and this is a track that I think we're going to see a different type of racing than I think we're used to. I think we're going to see, you know, some good long green flag runs. Wow, Kevin, that's hard to say. Green flag runs run through here. So I do think, you know, through the night, we're going to see drivers have to practice some green flag stops and keep things together. Kind of ties into my keys of the race here that I came up with last night. Whenever I was kind of sitting, I was looking around, I was trying to figure out, you know, what's the key to surviving Vegas? And, well, I said tires. Of course, I watched the Cup Series run yesterday, and if you haven't, well, it was really just the luck of the tire more than anything else. Other thing that I looked at was, you know, green flag stops. That's something that Kevin and I've talked about. Not a lot of people like to practice, but you need to. And then, well, what happens in Vegas, it stays in Vegas sometimes. And, well, that actually can be quite the opposite. Sometimes drivers have some long memories here, and they can remember what happens in Vegas, and they'll bring it back around later in the season.
Yeah, and there's a couple drivers that have dug themselves really deep in the point standings. So I'm looking at Josh Parker in 34th. How is that even possible after 4 races? That makes no sense. Mark Jorgensen Jr., who's run strong every race, he's back in 32nd. Anthony Calantoni, 26. He's one that should be right at the top of the stack. And Chad Coleman, after a couple of strong runs, he's got nothing to show for it. So we said it last week, and unfortunately for several drivers, they didn't get that breakthrough to bring themselves back into the mix. They dug a deeper hole. And when you're in a hole, don't get a shovel. You know, and unfortunately, they need to have something good come on tonight. That number 84 Talking Giants mount of Anthony Cantoni, he just needs to have a clean race and get to the finish. No matter where he is, somewhere in the top 10 would be a welcome change from what he's had all season long.
Yeah, lots of drivers looking to right the season, but it is a long way to November, so I do think there's plenty of time for drivers, even if they're not having the best time now, to maybe get things together, but you just got to overcome that bad momentum, which is easier said than done every once in a while. But I have a feeling that somebody's going to get real lucky here in Vegas. I don't know why, I don't know who, but call it just a hunch here as we get set up here for the grid. Let's get ready to run through this PTR TV starting lineup. We got a mile and a half to run, so this is going to be one of those that I think we're going to just kind of get as far as we can, and then go from there. So Sean Macklin, Tyler Dalton on the front row, and then you're looking there. That's an interesting front row. As I said, Tyler Dalton, one that I'm keeping my eyes on. Bentley Glasser, Chad Coleman, 3rd and 4th. From there, Bobby Wetzel, Justin Fuller, 5th and 6th. Thomas George and David Comstock, 7th, 8th. EJ O'Rourke and Anthony Calatoni, 9th and 10th.
Glenn Campbell, Randy Yoakum make out the row 6. It'll be Nelson Rivera in the 22 inside. Row 7 outside is Kevin DeBrown. Brian Macklin in the 30 is in the 15th starting spot. 16th tonight, Charles Van Schaik. It is Joe Hudson in the 49 starting 17th. 18th outside. Row 9, Robert Friery the 3rd in the number 2. Jason Karlovaj is going to start the 60 in the 19th starting spot. And on his outside, two-time winner this season, David Schildhouse in the 20.
From there, we're going to go 21st, Jason Pick. 22nd, Richard Beasley. Joey Jatina in 23rd. Charles Woods down in 24th. DeAndre Kane up in 25th. And 26th, Ryan Cook. From there, we're going to go Kevin Stone, Cody Harris, Wesley Donaldson, and James Dorr. Last 10 here.
Tony Benfield starts 31st tonight, 32nd on his outside, the 28 of Patrick Colby. Ron Hollifield sitting in for Eric Arnold. He starts 33rd. And then the drivers that did not take time, Stephen Miles, Jeff Hollingsworth, Josh Parker, Jimmy Coleman, Doug Sigmund, and Brian Wertman. It'll be Gerald Livingston in the 96, starting 40th and shotgun on the field.
Race details here, 125 laps, 3 sets of tires, 100% fuel, and of course those all-important fixed setups here in Sim 500. Makes things competitive, makes things interesting. I tell you what, at the end of this one, I don't know if I can predict who's going to win it. I could try, but I'm not gonna. Someone's gonna get lucky. Someone's gonna absolutely, call black, land black. Someone's gonna put all their chips on red and come out wrong, but in the end, who feels lucky in Vegas, and what happens here stays here. That iRacing pace car pulls off in a little bit of a drift, and in the lead is Sean Macklin. Tyler Dalton will start to his outside. Who comes through? They come around. Barney gives the green flag, and we are going to be underway here in Las Vegas.
125 laps of racing action. They head off to turn 1 for the first time. Sean Macklin down on the bottom line has the advantage. One car sideways, trying to gather it up. He's going to catch the cars one around, and we will likely see a yellow, and we do on lap 1. Tricky entry to turn number 1 has bitten a couple drivers, and we go under caution for the first time here tonight in Las Vegas.
I know it started with Bobby Wetzel. Let me see if I can find exactly where that happened. Let's go back and get you a PTR TV replay here and see if we can't find a good angle of what happened, because it started, I know on the race restart that number 9 got a bit loose, or on the race start, not even the restart. So let's see if we can't get a good angle, because it looks like it was him and the 6 coming together here. So this is right off the start. That's the 6 to the inside with the 9. So they tap him there. He gets loose, and then back behind, the 17 ends up in the wall somewhere all on his own. Kevin Stone. Go back and see if we can find a good replay of that one. So, because I don't know, actually, seems like this was a few different incidents just all at once that happened, if we're honest.
Yeah, likely a checkup or just, hard on the binders, unfortunately, and a couple cars getting caught up in that. I want to say there were 7 or 8 cars in that melee somewhere along the line as it just kept building and building.
Yeah, we're gonna get one more angle here. This is gonna be from the blimp. So,
I would imagine Mr. Wetzel is going to have a conversation with Mr. George about the aggressiveness on the start. Down there on the apron, I'm guessing the 6 thought maybe the 9 would slide up and give him a lane on entry, and the 9 was probably not even aware that he was down on the apron, making it 3 wide. And sometimes when you go back and Monday morning quarterback that, Brad, you find out that maybe somebody didn't get as good a start and somebody ducked out of line to try and keep from running another over. There's all kinds of things going on, but I'm sure they'll debrief and have a conversation about that start. It's not the way either one of them want to start their race here tonight at Vegas.
yeah, the big checkup that I saw too was Joey Jatina. I thought I saw him check up a little bit, and maybe I was mistaken on that one, but I know I saw something there that was a little bit different. So we'll see if they can right the wrong here on the restart as we come around. It does look like that, maybe it's that Vegas jitters after Phoenix. Phoenix, was a hard race for a lot of drivers. That's the easiest way to say that. It was a hard race for a lot of drivers. So I think everyone's maybe, just trying to reset, kind of get that mental check in here, Kevin. And I think maybe it's a little bit harder on some of the drivers than others.
Yeah, unfortunately, a couple drivers took some hits there. By our count, the 9, the 6, the 17, the 28, the 11, and the 75 involved in that lap 1 incident. Unfortunately for Stony Benfield fans, he is sitting in pit road getting damage repaired, and he's going to be at least 2 laps down trying to get that sorted out, as is Ron Hollifield running the number 31 tonight for Eric Arnold, as troubles early for a couple of them here in Las Vegas.
I said what happened in Vegas stays in Vegas. Maybe I lied. I don't know. We'll see how things play here through the run on the night. Still plenty of laps for drivers to get it together and kind of, save things through, breathe, reset. We have the grid sort of similar to how it was before. One big thing that I noticed, Jimmy Coleman here, all the way back in the back, found a lot of positions there and was able to get up into 29th off of that race start. So that's a very good way to run that one, honestly, if you wanted to go through pretty quick. A couple other notable drivers that I see here. Bobby Wetzel down 15 positions already on that start. Charles Van Schaik down 18. Ryan Cook down 11. So a few drivers having a good night, a few drivers having a bad night. We're only 4 laps in. This will be lap 5 when they take the flag, and it is going to be up to Sean Macklin when we go. And already check up on the inside line from the top 5 pretty quick there.
Yeah, right now everybody kind of staying in lane. Don't see a lot of drivers switching here as we head to turn 1. One more time for restart. Macklin out away as they're 3 wide out in the back. Tyler Dalton giving chase from second. I know one thing, Tyler certainly wants to lead at least 1 lap as they go through turns 3 and 4 for the first time. Still mean and green, everybody kind of minding their P's and Q's after that bumpy start, and it'll be Sean Macklin leading lap number 1.
Oh, they're going 4 wide back in the back. I caught that just out of the corner of my eye, trying to see where that was. It was a little bit further back through. Somebody dropping down low, which you can do here at Vegas. Again, it's kind of the Phoenix law. I don't like it, but it is something that you can do. You can kind of drop a little bit lower on that apron. Tyler Dalton here going to take the inside to Sean Macklin, trying to get that car up ahead, and will be able to here to get that Camaro up ahead of that Ford, and will lead a lap here. Tyler Dalton now in the lead, brings it across the line for lap 6, and now we send Sean Macklin on the hunt just to see if he can get a position back.
Dalton out front for the first time where he wants to be. Now he has to make sure he takes care of his equipment. He's going to see Macklin in the rearview mirror, and out behind him is Chad Coleman in the number 38. Good start for the WBD diecast Camaro. And the Get a Unit, unitstorage.com Toyota of Justin Fuller riding right there in the 4th position. Expect on the long run for Justin Fuller to provide a little bit of a challenge as he's right now side by side with Bentley Glazier, who's running the mid to high line up off of the corner. So many different grooves and choices you can run here, Brad.
Yeah, you definitely can. It's all about what you're comfortable with, what you can make the car stick with. The big thing with the fixed setups is it kind of, equalizes the cars a bit, so it doesn't become so much about setup. It's about how well you adapt. Back in the background, oh, that was a hard hit into the wall. Who exactly was that? That looked like it was, oh, I couldn't tell who that was off the top of my head, but man, that was a hard hit. I believe that was Randy Yoakum, if I can get the camera back there, and it was. Let's see if we can get a quick replay of what happened there, because I saw that out of the corner of my eye hit, and then it was just a hard hit in, and it looks like it just went from bad to worse as he went through.
Yeah, it looks like Randy had a little contact with another car coming up off of turn 4. Hard, quick turn to the outside wall, safer barrier, right side damage, and I believe he broke a toe link or something here as the car in front of him hit the wall, and I think he checked up to try and prevent from getting into that, and unfortunately played a little pinball there.
He collected a few cars there with him there. I noticed the 2 got up in the wall there too. Robert Fryery as well kind of took into the wall, so not sure what may have happened there.
You ever have that situation, and it's so common, where you're following the car in front of you and you follow them right in the wall. They go up and tag the wall, and you're following their line thinking they're just going to ease right around the corner, and you slap the wall right along with them. It happens so often. It's not a unusual circumstance.
Yeah, it's sort of that, I don't even want to say sympathy wreck in that regard, but it is one where I've done it plenty of times. You're running through and, you think you're doing just fine. You're running through just fine. And then, you see the guy in front of you run a little bit wide, and you kind of think, you know what? I need to stick with him and run through. He's pushing hard. I'm going to push hard. And then you both just end up in the wall. But because you're the car behind, you're pushing a bit harder. It makes things a little bit worse for you. So that is something that I've done personally dozens upon dozens of times, Kevin. And it is just, I hate to say it, but sometimes it's just part of racing, honestly, to make those small moments, and even the best drivers do it.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Yoakum, he was kind of along for the ride after he hit the wall, drifted back across the track. He was tagged by the 08 of James Dewar, and then nicked by the 81 of Josh Parker, and then along came Stephen Miles in the 24. So multiple cars taking hits in this second incident early here in Las Vegas.
That they are, and things are gonna, it's all about the luck. It's about the skill here in Vegas, but I do think for the drivers, there is that little bit of a, remember, this is 125 laps. Let's not burn the tires out of this car too early. Let's not push this car too hard too fast. Let's settle in here and get to lap 125. So, because I think some guys right now are getting really caught up in the push and in the run, and some of them are those drivers that really want that good result. They need that good result, and you take that 1 or 2% back. I think that can really make the difference for some of these drivers here. So, I believe we'll be coming up on the 1 to green here this time by.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Josh Parker, quite a bit of damage to the number 81. He's going to be at least 1 lap down, probably 2, as we come back as the 1 to green. The 74 of Brian Wortman, the 75 of Sonny Benfield, and the 17 of Stone exit pit road. They're going to go around and tag to the back of the field, but we have multiple cars 1 lap down from incidents early on here at Las Vegas.
That we do. You can see the damage to that number 81 of Josh Parker, still sitting in his pit box there. Has been there for over 2 minutes now, almost 3 minutes now, actually, getting some damages repaired. You got several cars parked on pit lane as it stands. Brian Wortman, Josh Parker, Randy Yoakum, Stoney Benefield, James Dewar, they are all currently sitting in the box that I can see. So few cars out of our 40-car grid already taking some pretty significant damage. Coming into 3 here. I still don't think I'm going to change my prediction. I said at the top, I want to see Tyler Dalton get a good result just because he's always up front. He's always pushing. And I think I'm going to hold on to that because so far on these 2 restarts, he seemed pretty comfortable.
Yeah, I would expect Tyler to run top 5 all season long. He's just not had a good run so far, but maybe this is the breakout race for him as pace car peels left, goes to pit road, and it'll be up to Dalton and Macklin to send us back to green. Caution number 2 comes to a close. Good jump for the 19. Macklin going to drive down and cover the low line, and they streak off to turn 1. one more time.
You can see there Tyler Dalton getting a good run, Sean Macklin getting a good run. It's from Chad Coleman back that you really kind of see things spreading out and going. That Mountain Dew car running all the way to the high line here, down the backstretch as they go. That is going to be Bentley Glacier trying to make some sort of move up to the high line, keep things going. They're spread out 3 wide through and through, and they are just really looking to make moves here as they can, as they bring it around, get another lap down here and underway. And still Tyler Dalton up front, but Sean Macklin does get the pass done very quick there around the high line. Can he make it stick? Well, he's certainly going to try there off the exit of 2.
If you're a Josh Parker fan, he did get the damage fixed. He's 1 lap down, sitting in the lucky dog. I'm not sure if he fixed all the damage, but he's back on the tail end of the pack right now, hoping for an additional caution so he can bring his car back in and get some additional service.
Bringing it across the line, Sean Macklin has the lead here. EJ O'Rourke, Tyler Dalton going to battle things out here as they go. They're looking to make some sort of pass here. All the cars head down through 1, through the exit of this Las Vegas 2. Now we go down the Nellis Straight, as it is called, as far as I am aware. It is the Nellis Straight, and they keep things going. Back here in the back, Bentley Glasser still battling there with Calantoni trying to make a move up the high line.
Yeah, these drivers have to be very careful off of turn number 4. The car can just take off on you, go out, slap the right side wall. You can get damage to the car, and any aero damage in this racetrack would cause considerable consternation for these drivers. Is, you know, the car just does not perform. You need it to be aero perfect so you can draw up and try to execute the pass. I see 2 and 3 wide there. You look at the 9 of Bobby Wetzel. He's in the back watching out his front windshield. This pack of cars is he sees Harris to the outside and others 3 wide up in front of him, and you really have to drive out the windshield at this racetrack. You're so on top of all the cars right in front of you.
Yeah, we hop on board here with Wetzel, and this is the view, as you said. I mean, it's just madness ahead. Nobody's really settling it in here that I can tell. And again, usually you want to see drivers sort of, settle down, relax a little bit, get in the groove of things, but not at all anyone's goal right now as we bring this around. Look there to the inside again. Goes Bentley Glasser there in the 36, that 93 up to the high line. Kevin Brown trying to look to make a move. So top 4 have got it single file, but everything past that, it's anything but calm down and relaxed here. They're keeping things 2 wide. I see one Mr. David Schildhouse who wants to go 3 for 5 going up the high line.
Yeah, right now it is EJ O'Rourke leading the field over Sean Macklin, Chad Coleman, Tyler Dalton, and Justin Fuller. They are your top 5. To your point, they're single file, but right behind them, Brian Macklin in a really tight battle with Kevin DeBrown, and Schildhouse going to push DeBrown through and drive down low in turn number 3, trying to make his way forward. He's going to see if he can get to the top 5 early here at Las Vegas.
It's a goal. It's an ambition. If you can do it, you might as well. You see there that Schildhouse is with Brown running through. They're keeping things going. Cody Harris there in the number 95 is right behind a side-by-side battle of Justin Fuller, Tyler Dalton. Tyler Dalton going to drop down into the 5th position now. Tyler Dalton just steadily bringing that car back, but I think Tyler's thinking long-term here. He's going to be thinking about lap 120, lap 115, lap 110, further up in the race. Meanwhile, we've got a battle right there just behind. That's Justin Fuller, Chad Coleman, that are battling it out side by side. This is going to be looking to make the pass go for 3rd place as they come through. Looks like they do settle it up, and Justin Fuller gets ahead of Chad Coleman there.
Yeah, you have to be your own strategist at this point in the race. You're trying to think to yourself, well, I don't want to give up track position, but I also don't want to run my car too hard in case we get a long green flag run. I need to take care of my equipment, take care of my tires, make sure I'm not sliding the front of the car across the racetrack. And I know that one thing we haven't talked much about is there's a lot of bumps over there in turn number 1, and you got to pick and choose the lane that you want to be fast, but also you try to avoid the bumps and try to get a smoother run through there.
I will say that is easier said than done.
Yeah, for sure. They all know every inch of the racetrack. They swing up on the exit of the front straightaway and they roll down through the bump. Some of them run the middle. You can get up to the high line, and one of the curiosities that we're going to see is, will somebody try to balance the tire wear? When you're down on the bottom, you're really leaning on the right sides. When you come up, you can relieve some of the stress off of the right side of the car. As we one through the grass. Who was that down there? Was that Justin Fuller?
I am not sure who that was, but no, Justin Fuller's still running. I believe that was a lap down
DJ
car.
O'Rourke. DJ O'Rourke made a left-hand turn out of turn number 4. Car broke loose, and he was leading the race.
He's back up and going here. Let's see if we can find a real quick replay of exactly what happened there, because that was a very weird one. So let's see exactly what happened to him, because it seems like he just didn't have a good time there. He's carrying, I mean, he looks like he's got some speed there. He looks like he's doing fine before that. So this is him coming through. And then just, this is...
And then it stepped out again, and he really had his hands full. We talked about coming off of turn 4 here. When you're full on throttle, it can get loose after 10 laps. And unfortunately for EJ, he went down and did a little agricultural racing, and he's going to go to the back of the pack. I'm sure he's as surprised as anybody to have that happen as he was leading the race.
He's down a long way down into 33rd now. He's got plenty of time to try to get caught up if he can. But that is, I mean, that is painful to see. Tyler Dalton's still dropping positions because David Schildhouse getting the pass done. And now Tyler has Brian Macklin for company. I mean, I don't know what to say on that one other than just some changes going through there. He's still dropping down. And again, I don't know if that's strategy or what it is, but just continuing to sort of fall into the pack. Oh, look at Cody Harris up here in the front trying to make a move up the inside of Chad Coleman.
Yeah, I wouldn't be too nervous for Tyler Dalton. I would imagine he knows he could save his stuff, and if he has to, he could kick the spurs and get it going. As Justin Fuller slipped around Sean Macklin, who inherited the lead after O'Rourke's slip, and now it is Justin Fuller in command of the race. And one conversation that these drivers have amongst themselves is they like to be out front. While you burn more fuel, you end up with better racecraft because you have all the air, clean air on the front of the car. You could pretty much pick and choose the lane you want, and the car will stick better, as I think Justin Fuller is enjoying his stay out front of the field.
Yeah, if I was Justin Fuller, I definitely would be enjoying it. Not a bad position to be in if you're him. Just kind of keep things going, keep things moving and grooving, and keep looking behind you, because the more you can see people behind you, the easier it makes. So, you know, we'll just kind of see where he's at. Look at these 3 cars here battling for first place as they go through. Justin Fuller, Sean Macklin, and Cody Harris, your top 3 as it stands. And I see another Mountain Dew car of Bentley Glasser there going a little bit high there, and still, you know, they're battling pretty good. They're keeping it fairly together, fairly clean here early on, getting up into lap 30. I don't feel like we're too far from green flag pit stop distance.
Yeah, right now Schildhouse is the one trying to press. We were talking about his ability to get to the top 5. It's been a little harder than it looks. He drops down underneath Bentley Glazer, carving the white line over there in turns 1 and 2, trying to get the run off. So difficult when you can't come out to the outside fence to carry the momentum over there in turn number 2, and Glazer's going to drive by and cover the position, turns down to close the nose. There comes Schildhouse to the bottom. He's going to pack air on that spoiler, and oh, they tagged each other there, or at least Bentley Glazer got loose and went up across the racetrack. We remain green, but oh, what an unfortunate circumstance for the Mountain Dew number 36.
Yeah, let's get another look there of what happened to that 36. So, because that was an interesting moment he found himself in. So we'll go here. Let's get a good tower shot of how this one happened. So this is jumping into the replay as they come through. Little wiggle, and a lot of help, that's for sure. And then, unfortunately, again, he's up there on that wall. He's slow, not a lot he can do. So that kind of just puts him where he was, and all the way back into 20th now. Still dropping 21st now. I'm worried that car's got more damage than it's leading on.
Yeah, both he and Brian Macklin took some hard shots with the right fronts of their car. You know, I don't I don't know that there was any contact. That could have just been Arrow. I went back and looked at the 20th Schildhouse. He was there. Again, you're not sure how the cars were rendered in the sim as to whether they made contact or not. From my view, Schildhouse never touched him. The 36 just broke loose and shot across the racetrack.
That's the 17 of Kevin Stone up on the high line. You see the damage there on the right front. Staying up on the high line, staying out of the way. Schildhouse going through, taking it 3 wide around with Chad Coleman as they came through. Side by side, there's another tap of the wall from Sean Macklin hitting the wall there on the high line, trying to just hold things together. Now they're going to push Justin Fuller a little bit, and Kevin Brown there in the mix. So they're just going to kind of push things through. I said Justin Fuller, but here's Justin Fuller done and dusted. So Kevin Brown getting a little bit of front to rear bumper action there as they go, and Justin Fuller just kind of enjoying this, stretching out a half-second lead and really just kind of thinking, hey, y'all stay behind me and keep doing what you're doing. Let me run away with this thing.
Tell you, the car that looks nervous there is Macklin. You see him brush the wall. The car was loose on the entry of turn number 3. It got a little skittish, and then it went across and connected with the wall and exited turn 4. That car is a handful right now. The Mobil 1 Ford maybe had run a little too hard in the beginning. I'm not sure what Sean has going on, but he's going to drop back here behind the 91 of Wesley Donaldson. And while all that was going on, it was David Schildhouse sneaking underneath. He's back into the top 5 here at Las Vegas.
Schildhouse just kind of sleeping behind there, making a move. And man, Sean Macklin, there's another big wiggle off before that car getting loose on him. I know we said the cars were going to get loose, but I didn't know they were going to get that loose through the run, because man, he is not enjoying the exit of 4. Either that car's got some damage that we're just not seeing, or he's just having a very, very bad time here.
Yeah, I think once you heat those tires up, it is difficult to get them back underneath you. If you keep pressing the car, you will eventually just continue to get slip and slide. And, for him, the best thing that he could do is just kind of settle in, stop applying a lot of wheel on entry and slamming the throttle down. He's got to be really careful with that car and let it come back underneath him. How about this run for the 44 Transervice Chevrolet of Glenn Campbell, currently sitting in 8th. He's trying to track down. You got a little distance to go. Sean Macklin in front of him, but Macklin is backing up to Campbell, and Campbell having a solid run here early in Las Vegas.
Indeed. Another driver that I'm really keeping my eyes on is right here, Wesley Donaldson, who has gotten that car from 29th to 6th place. And that is, that's a considerable run here in Vegas. We're only lap 38 of 125, but you can't be mad at that sort of a run if you are a driver. You got to be pretty happy with where you find yourself there. And then, of course, I do also want to shout out a couple more drivers that are having some good runs on the night. Stephen Miles back here, just silently running through, and, well, not so silently, because now I've mentioned you, 34th started, currently 12th. That's a good run through. And man, look in the back there, a couple cars behind. That's Calantoni in the Monster Energy car. Correction, that's Comstock in the Monster Energy car. I'm still, we're 5 weeks in, and sometimes I still mix up the paint schemes.
Yeah. I'll tell you, another driver having a solid run right now is Jeff Hollingsworth from 97th. He started 35th, is currently running 18th. He's made his way into the top 20 from a deep starting spot and having a decent race in the number 97.
Yeah, and we always love to see drivers, getting those solid runs where they can, having the good runs through where they can. It always makes things fun. Look at Schildhouse, though, putting the... I was going to say putting the bumper, but really that was just putting the fender up to the fender there. The quarter panel of the fender, pushing around, trying to get past Cody Harris, and got past Cody Harris, and then look back behind. That is Wesley Donaldson, the 91, and the 93 of Kevin Brown with a little bit of a love tap there. The WBO diecast teammates having a little bit of a shoulder check there with each other, and it is going to be the 93 of Kevin Brown staying ahead of Wesley Donaldson.
Yeah, Donaldson's going to fight a little differently. He's just going to tuck in here and not abuse the car. Schildhouse, he's got championship written all over him. If you can go to every racetrack and be fast and be a contender and drive yourself into the top 5, then you're going to write your name down as a favorite for the season championship come time when we get to Phoenix later this year. As there is the 44 of Glenn Campbell. He's made his way to that position. He's going to slide underneath and get under the number 94 of Sean Macklin. Macklin would love to see one more caution and go in and get some fresh tires on that number 94. I think he needs some new shoes.
Yeah, I definitely think he'd agree with you on that one. He's not having a fun time.
So it's been Justin Fuller since lap 25 out front. We're working lap number 42. Fuller in command of the field, but as he looks in the mirror, the 20 is looming large. Right now, the field is kind of stretched it out, Brad. The leaders are coming off of turn 2. The back of the field is coming off turn 4, and there's a bunch of little pockets of cars with, you know, looks like behind the 91 of Wesley Donaldson, who is currently running in the 6th position, is a large gap back to Glenn Campbell, and then there's a big gaggle of cars right there behind them. And I'm looking at this battle between Nelson Rivera running 16th and the 84 of Anthony Calantoni. The two of them have been just kind of swapping lanes back and forth, trying to see who can get the advantage. And this is where I say you run hard in the middle of the race, in the middle of the field, as hard as anybody out front when you're trying to claw for these positions deep in the pack.
Absolutely, because some drivers, you know, in that mid-pack, that difference, that one position could spell the difference between having a run for the championship all the way in September, October, November, being out of it by just one position. So you got to just keep clawing, keep pushing. We've hit that. You've gotten those first few rounds through your belt, and you've kind of hit the point where you do have to start thinking about that championship here in the long term. And again, it's a long way to the end of the year, but it's going to go faster than you think. It's already March 17th. So, I mean, we're moving through this series pretty nice and calm and smooth as we go. That is Campbell getting a little bit loose there. Glenn Campbell in the 44 off of exit behind Thomas George with Stephen Miles there in the mix. I mean, these three are battling it out pretty hard, trying to keep things moving. Up front, it's still second verse, same as the first. Donaldson and Brown still battling it out here up ahead.
Yeah, Donaldson has a bumper underneath the 93 of Kevin DeBrown, trying to get the run up off of turn 4. He's going to draw alongside, and DeBrown looked like he slipped a little bit. Donaldson's going to slide underneath, cover the position. He's going to go into spot number 5 here on lap 47 as the top 5 start to break away from the rest of the field. They have to begin to think about pit stops. This is a difficult place because you carry so much speed down into turn number 3, but you don't want to give anything up on pit entry. So you hammer in the brakes, sliding down off the banking in the racing groove on turn 4 upon exiting to pit road, and you've got to get it woed up down to pit road speed by the line. And I would not be surprised to see drivers sliding through the grass, getting penalties, and having all kinds of challenges if they try to hustle to get down to pit road.
We're definitely hitting that point. I would think that green flag stops aren't too far away as it stands, because our top 20 haven't even been in the pits at all. Actually, our top 23, 24 haven't been in at all. So you got to start thinking about that sooner rather than later, and definitely see where things go here. Top 3 probably going to be the ones to really watch. When they go, the whole field will follow, but somebody's going to look at it. Look at this side by side, 22 the 2, the 13 the 84. This is Nelson Rivera, Friary, Calantoni, Comstock that are all battling it out as they run along and keep things pushing and moving and grooving as they can. Again, every little position you can get forward helps, especially because you never know when things might go south and kind of change up. So you got to just keep pushing the cars forward while you can and keep things going. It's been a pretty good moment here. We're lap 50 of 125. We're not half race distance yet. We're not far off, though, as these cars continue to run here in Sim500 round 5 here in good old Viva Las Vegas.
So we have to keep in mind we had 2 cautions, and on that second caution lap, number 9, the restart from lap 12, a couple drivers ducked down and top
Tony giving me a heart attack.
So these drivers have to keep in mind that a couple of these drivers could go a little further. They did duck off and pit for fuel, so that'll be interesting to see if somehow one of the dynamics of this race play into the hands of those those who did duck off and top off at the end of that second caution.
Yeah, it's... I don't know if it's going to add a lot, but it's going to add something to the strategy mix, because you're going to have to think about it. You're going to have to be aware of it and prepared for it. Back here, this is the battle for 18th, Charles Woods and Bobby Wetzel going through, and then you have Karlovog and George in the 60 and the 6 that were just swapping positions around. So I think at this point, everyone's really just looking for someone to make the stop, make the move, do something here. And I think even if you pit it in on that second run, you're probably going to pit the same time as everyone else. You could run a little bit longer, but I don't think you want to take the risk of, getting outpaced by fresh tires and finding yourself sort of out of the loop of where everyone else is. You want to pit in and try to stay with the pack as much as possible. Have a friend around you, coordinate with teammates, whatever you can do to really set things up here.
Yeah, we're starting to see a couple of drivers duck in for pit road. The 75 of Stony Fenfield just cleared the service. The Extreme Performance Toyota of DeAndre Kane was down on pit road, just did 4 tires and fuel, and we saw him coming up off of the apron on the back straightaway there. This is the other aspect. Not only do you need to get to pit road, but you need to get off very carefully. There's not like a strange banking to the racetrack apron over there in turns 1 and 2. You come out of pit lane and the track leans, or the apron leans down. You try to hustle the car, you could very easily spin it and it'll yaw and go back up onto the racetrack. So yeah, not an easy job, and I suspect that sooner or later we're going to see some of these top runners peel off and go to pit road.
It's who does it first is really what's going to be the problem, I think, for drivers. It's who decides to do that first. We're on board with the 93 of Brown following Donaldson, the teammate ahead, just running through, holding on, and really, again, just sort of biding the time and keeping things moving and grooving here as much as possible. You can see just ahead on your screen, if you look ahead of Donaldson, that's Coleman, Harris, and Schildhaus, and then just ahead, that little blue speck was Justin Fuller going through. So continuing to try to push and follow things through. A bit further back, you do have some more battles going on here. This is the 22, the 6, and the 44 on screen. They've continued to battle things through. This is the battle for P10 with Glenn Campbell up ahead, and then they are just pushing through. Nelson Rivera with a good move on the inside, bringing us across for lap 57 of 125 now. And again, just everyone's running through, everyone's keeping things moving and grooving, and we have seen the drivers really settle into the rhythm that they've been missing. We saw this last week at Phoenix. You could tell when the drivers don't get to settle in the rhythm, it really, I don't want to say upsets them, but it makes it harder on a lot of our drivers for the race. But when they can settle into that green flag run and that consistent lap after lap push, it really makes things easier for the drivers to keep things green.
Yeah, we're starting to see a little push here from Cody Harris. He got down underneath and cleared Schildhaus. Schildhaus able to carry momentum though and drive around and hold on to that second position, but Schildhaus under assault again. Here comes Harris up off the bottom. He's going to draw alongside and take that position. Schildhaus going to tuck in behind him. P2 for Cody Harris here on lap number 59. Now we'll see whether he can break away from Schildhaus and run down Justin Fuller for the lead of this race here at Las Vegas.
How long is this going to last, though? Because Schildhaus already looking fast, and Coleman starting to throw the fishing line out and reel these two in up front. Or I don't have a good Vegas pun for chasing the car ahead. I don't know. We'll figure something out here in the next few minutes, I'm sure. But now Coleman's starting to push on Schildhaus, go up the inside. Is he going to get a royal flush, and he's going to send it up the inside? There's the good pun, and gets that pass done. 38 clears the 20. I tell you what, I might not be a Corey, I might not be an Andre, but I will find a pun if there is one to be found eventually.
Schildhaus has a good run to the high side off of turn number 2 to the back straightaway. He's going to come back and reclaim that position. He's under assault one more time as the 38 of Chad Coleman goes to the high side, looking for a way to get around Schildhaus to come the third. Good run for Chad Coleman. He's shown speed early in this season, but has not had great results. Could tonight be the one where he breaks through and puts his name in the ring for someone. As we got caution on the speedway, maybe for the 28 here by the start-finish line.
Indeed, 28 spins out. Let's see if we can get a replay here of exactly what's happened to him. We'll throw this one up to the tower, and it looks like he had a little bit of help there from the 41. I don't think that this was just a solo spin. So 41 drifts up, taps him there, and then he goes through, and then the Tampax car takes a bit of a hit, and the 28 just around as she pleases. Get one more replay here.
This is going to be welcome for a lot of these guys who were right at the end. Some of them ran too hard, and I think you understand the way this works sometimes, Brad, is you go out in that first stint and you regret how you ran. You wait for the caution and hope you haven't lost too much track position. You're thrilled to death. Ow. You're thrilled to death that the caution came out and you get to hit the reset button, and now it's feeding time at the zoo. Everybody's going to go for 4 tires and fuel.
Absolutely. And as these drivers go through into pit lane, here they are. And I tell you what, this is going to be a busy little pit lane. Justin Fuller's in, Cody Harris is in. If you're not in the pits, you're probably wrong right now. And look at this, Fuller going down the line is going to be there. Cody Harris, Stephen Miles is in. It's better to just ask me who's not in, and the answer is everyone's in. Quite literally, every driver here is in. There's 4 tires and fuel for Cody Harris. I see left side's coming up for many cars. There's the 36 of Glasser coming in, and there's the right side coming up. There's the left side coming up. Trying to find more drivers to get a view on. Here's a Glasser yet again, not who I'm trying to get an eye on. And as they come through and as they come out, that is going to be drivers getting things moving and grooving real quick. And guess who's in the lead here when it's all said and done?
I don't know.
Well, I am registering that our race leader is now Stephen Miles.
He might have stayed out to lead a lap here, and he'll go to pit road. As I was just looking at the attrition of this race, several drivers have pulled in behind the wall. Josh Parker, Kevin Stone, Joey Jatita, Jimmy Coleman, Randy Oakham, and James Dewar all out of this event. Josh Parker ran in that lucky dog position for so long, and when this caution came, I thought maybe he'd be able to ring the bell, but it was Charles Van Schaik getting the lucky dog and coming around. He'll start shotgun on the field. Yeah,
so now we look here as things do sort out. Looks like Stephen Miles did stay out to get a lap lead. We're going to get the cars a lap down out of the way there, send them around past that iRacing pace car, and it is going to be Justin Fuller to the lead, Cody Harris in second, Schildhouse, Coleman, Donaldson, Kevin Brown, Sean Macklin, Jason Carlavage, Rivera, and Campbell are going to run your top 10 on this restart. So car gets very loose on a long run. That is something important to remember, and I'm sure a lot of drivers are putting that in the mental bank right now and just making sure, hey, car gets loose on the long run, car gets loose on the long run, and they're going to be trying to remember that all the way through to the end. See what they can do to keep things together here and try to get another good long run going out of this stretch.
I think the biggest benefactor of this is David Schildhouse. He ran the tires off, trying to come from deep within the field here, and now he's got a top 5 restart and he has fresh tires. He's on even ground with everybody else. If he's got a fast car to drive through the field, I have to wonder if he can drive through the leader here and go take command of this race here, as we are 1 to green. Their pace car just about to pull off. Lap 64. It is Fuller, Harris, Schildhouse, Coleman, and Donaldson, your top 5 for the restart.
And as they come through that Geico restart zone here in Las Vegas, who's feeling lucky on lap 65 to get to 125 in the lead? We're going to find out. We're back underway, and Justin Fuller with a very good run. Schildhouse, Harris side by side to start things out, with Chad Coleman not far behind for company. They bring it through 1 and 2, a little bit of 3 wide in the background, but up in the front, the pack is going to keep it together 2 by 2 as they send it along here. And does look like Schildhouse already challenging for the lead here. Kevin, I tell you what, Schildhouse, if you don't have your money on him for a championship, Cody Harris might be a second pick, because doggone, these two are fast.
Yeah, Schildhouse ducks underneath. He wants to lead this lap, and indeed he's going to do it. He has the lead by a fender. Fuller not done yet. Pulls down alongside the number 20 Splash and Go Graphics Chevrolet to side draft, and he gets the run out of turn number 2 with a little bit of help from his friends. Cody Harris pushes the 51. He's going to drop down and clear the 20 of Schildhouse. Now he is in command. Which lane will he pick as the 95 bounces off the wall on exit of turn 4?
Cody Harris with a hard hit there to the outside. And just a little shoulder check there from the 94 of Sean Macklin. Sends Cody Harris back a little bit more, and you got to think Cody Harris is going to have to reset from that, get that car moving again here, Kevin. He took a hard hit there on that exit of 4.
Yeah, just hustle the car a little too much out of turn 4. It's pretty easy to do as we see Jason Karlovage brush the wall on the exit of turn 4. Let's just say that every lap out of turn 4, it almost seems like somebody pushes the boundary and the car slips up and swipes the wall. Some of them just brush it ever so slightly, just like Karlovage did. Hit it flush with the right side, not the right front, not the right rear, just door panel it. Others just nose the thing into the outside barrier, and the difference, like what we saw the 95 do, is a big hit can cause damage and do considerable damage to your speed too.
That it can. Schildhouse still trying to battle Fuller here down the inside, and Wesley Donaldson at 91 in that blue and black number 91 back behind in that WBD diecast car is still looking to try to maybe put his nose in the mix, and he has a teammate right behind as well of that number 93 of Kevin, so he's going to be looking for a run as well. We could have some teammates running 1-2 here in just a moment, because look at this, Wesley Donaldson trying to get a run here up the high line.
Donaldson able to take advantage of the side-by-side action between the two. He got a good run in the draft, was able to push through. He almost, I think, thought about running the middle and shooting the gauntlet, but thought better of it. He's going to run the middle lane off of turn number 4. He's got a good run, but what did he do? Brush the outside wall. That allows Schildhouse to draw alongside. Here comes David on the charge from the bottom.
Man, that wall on 4, somebody's going to have to buy it dinner, because these drivers are not being kind to it. They're going to owe it an apology card, and I'm sorry, a dozen roses, a box of chocolates, something, because they have been mean to that wall on the exit of 4 today. It's not been nice. You can almost just sit here on the static cam and exit of 4 as we do. And let's see who hits the wall here on the exit. Well, I don't see anyone doing it that time, I think, because I was watching, but look at this shift around as it goes. Schildhouse there is going to have Fuller ahead. You've got Cody Harris still looking for a pass, but you've got Kevin Brown trying to run the high line there and move through. These top 6 or so are really keeping things under pressure. They're pulling a little bit of a gap, though, back to Glenn Campbell in the 44, who is still trying to look for some sort of a push forward there with Nelson Rivera as we continue to watch. No, there's a hard hit in the wall in the background from the Tide car.
It doesn't look like the damage from Donaldson hurt his car. He's still tucked right in there and carrying a lot of speed. He hit hard enough. We saw sparks off the right rear as he careened off the outside barrier. So you will sometimes, right? You hit the wheel just correct on the right rear, right front, and it can damage the car. Now you'll have to get suspension repair. Right now, unless I tell Donaldson, none of the worst repair is Fuller down there on the edge, use whatever tricks. What I love is when they get over to turn 1, you see them fan out, super low, super middle, super high. A lot of times, like they're doing, Brad, is getting their car out into the air. Don't follow the car directly in front of you. You push, you move up some, get some air on the fender, get some air on the headlight. The car will stick a little bit better. It won't wear your tires as much.
Yeah, you can see here from this fisheye angle really the big difference in who runs where. I mean, everyone's going to have their preferential line, but again, everyone knows my rant on track limits. I feel like that's one that we're going to hear a lot on PTR TV coming up as well, because things get real busy around here on PTR TV for about the next 10 or 12 weeks, honestly. So you'll have 5 streams, 4 nights a week. So 2 streams every Thursday, and then Monday night Sim500, Tuesday night you're going to have area trucks with Corey and Mike Nows will be running that Wednesday nights. Myself and Andre will be running the Elbows Out Racing League multi-class GT3 series. Then on Thursday, you've got the Thursday night is the Area Pro Series, Corey and Hunter on that, and then myself and Sagar will be on the Thursday night Red Sox Racing League GT3s that, of course, have been a staple of the channel for a long time. So keeping them around, having them through. But yeah, it's going to be real busy around here. About as busy as it's been on track so far with these drivers trying to pass each other. If you're liking what you see, make sure you like, subscribe, ring the bell, do all the fun things here on YouTube to support us for completely free. And then, of course, go give us a follow on Facebook and Twitter/X for some of the best news. That 91 Wesley Donaldson, real slow there off the exit of 4.
Yeah, I think Wesley saw the car go a little bit on the exit of 4, had to step out of the throttle, let Schultz get around. Harris goes by, Brown goes by, now he's under attack from the high side as the 38 of Chad Coleman gets to the right bumper. And unfortunately, he wasn't able to execute the pass. He's going to tuck in behind Coleman, using the high side under there at 3 or 4, and then turning it down to ensure that he's not swinging the car off of turn 4. And I think in the end, that is really going to pay dividends in the long run.
Yeah, I like Coleman's line through 3 and 4. He's really one of the only drivers I see doing that by choice. And while he is doing it, yes, to try to get a pass here on the 94 Sean Macklin and try to move that car forward, it also is, playing into a little bit of long-term strategy. Try to take this race to the end if you can. Try to stretch things through. And, if you can make those tires last a little bit better and then have a good charge later on, why not do that? So lots of strategy games being played here. Even in times where you wouldn't think it. Like, I think right now, Schildhouse may be playing a little bit of strategy with Fuller. He's holding about 0.2 of a second back and just sort of settling in, riding the rhythm. And I think he's really just thinking about doing a little itsy-bitsy tiny bit of conserving here. He's thinking about just that long-term goal to the end of the race. Of course, lap 80 of 125. Still plenty of time here in Vegas to absolutely throw off your poker face if you can do so. We'll see who does that before the end. We go through, and that 94 and the 38 swapping positions yet again. Glenn Campbell, Nelson Rivera side by side here through turns 1 and 2 with that 84 of Calantoni for company.
Loosely about 2/3 of this race with 45 to go. One of the cars I have my eye on is the 24 of Stephen Miles. He's running back there at 22nd. He's got 3 top 10s with a bad finish at Atlanta of 40th. And he's running 6th in the point championship, and just has not been able to make his way back up here. I'm not sure if something happened. He did lead that lap, wasn't it, Brad? He said stayed out. Maybe that lap is why he's so deep in the field right now.
He hasn't registered that he led a lap because he did stay out, but it didn't give him credit for leading the lap there. But he did stay out an additional lap under that caution. And who was that right as the camera cut?
Yeah, I missed it.
That was, I believe, Jeff Hollingsworth in the 97. Just had a big old moment, though. Let's see if we can get a replay dialed up. I caught it just off the edge of the screen, slide through. It looks like he had a big wiggle.
Yeah, turn 4 has been a nemesis of all these guys tonight.
That it has. I don't know what it is, but turn 4 has been rough there. I wonder if somebody's laid oil down on the track, honestly. Just trying to cause some fun. But yeah, that's a big wiggle off of 4, not what you want to see, but able to keep that thing out of the wall, so you got to give him credit where it's due. Jumping back in here to live pictures, and Cody Harris still under pressure by Kevin Brown by about 1/10 of a second. David Schildhouse currently riding in the lead.
Yeah, Schildhouse has slipped around and taken the lead. He's starting to break away a little bit here as we're watching some of the other action. Schildhouse just quietly slipped underneath and has taken command of this race. The Cody Harris number 95 runs in second, and unfortunately for Justin Fuller, he's back to 5th. I'm not sure if the handling's going away on the 51, but this is something that he hasn't had to deal with too much tonight, being in traffic, and I wonder if the car is driving differently now that he's in dirty air.
We'll follow him here for a lap or so and see how the car runs, because he doesn't seem like he's doing bad. It just seems, yeah, something just seems off in terms of how that car is handling. I don't think he's had any big wall hits that I can remember off the top of my head, but the car definitely looks loose there, coming off of two, little floaty, I think is the best way to describe it there. 93 and the 91 up ahead of him side by side, so he's settling in and following through. Justin Fuller looking, here's the exit of 4, and I mean, really, he just has to check up there because the 93 and the 91 swap positions, and they are going to keep that WBO diecast car moving forward. Or sorry, it's
yes.
WBD, isn't it?
Yes, for Donaldson. Wesley Donaldson's company selling diecast. You can get a custom-made diecast from a different series or whatever. If you ping Wesley here and tell him what you need, he will set you up. I've seen some of the cars that he's made. They're outstanding. You can get your sim ride made, or you can get a ride of different cars and whatever. Let Wesley know what you need and he can set you up.
That would be really cool. I'm going to have to reach out to him. I've got some ideas in my head of what I'd like, so he might have just earned some business off of me.
I've been thinking about a late model. My brother ran a late model at Flemington Speedway, and I painted my iRacing late model to look just like it. And last week, someone gave me a call. They said they were moving, and they happened to have the door panel off of that car from 1990 something, and gave it to me. I have it sitting. I'm going to hang it in my garage. I'm so thrilled to have that car. How cool would it be to have a diecast of that?
That would be really cool.
Oldsmobile Cutlass car back in the 90s that ran Flemington Speedway.
Man, that would be really cool. Definitely. You'll have to do that. I think that'll be really cool to see. So, and if you do that, you'll have to send us a photo so we can put it on the broadcast, because that'd be really cool to show off. Actually, I've got some ideas in my head. I'm going to have to reach out to them. So we'll see how much business we can send their way. Let 90 a 125 here as we continue along. Top 3 trying to break away from the pack behind. Only about 0.7 of a second, though, between Wesley Donaldson and Sean Macklin. So not near enough of a gap. But as the 94, the 93 continue to battle, that's going to kind of open up a little bit more here. That 91 of Donaldson really opening things up. And Sean Macklin past Kevin Brown. And now, of course, Justin Fuller still dropping back. Has now dropped back into 8th place and is continuing to go back because Justin Karlovage has gotten that number 60 through. Justin, again, just looks loose. The car does not look happy. I don't know what it is that's got Justin off guard, but he has something with that car that he's not liking, and we'll see here off the exit of 4. Saw him get a wiggle off of 4 earlier, but that Camry is not having a good time.
Yeah, I know Justin is... he's a charger. He will run the car hard. He doesn't particularly love this next-gen car, but he's so wicked fast. And somewhere along the line, when he got past, we saw the car step out, and he might have slapped the wall. That's how loose he was off of turn number 2, and it just feels like the car's not in the racetrack anymore for him. The rear end is swinging around for him, and I just don't know what is different from the previous run, but that car seems really unstable for the Get-A-Unit Toyota Justin Fuller.
Yeah, it's unusual too, I think, really, to see Justin Fuller being in that position of struggling that much as we go through here. Top 3 still pulling out a bit of a gap to the rest of the pack. Gap now a second as they stand, so they continue to push along. Cody Harris in 2nd, Wesley Donaldson still in 3rd, and Cody Harris just slowly sneaking by. But it looks like, really, as things stand, lap 94 on the clock of 125. It seems like our 2 for 2 race winners are going to be trying to make it 3 for 3. For Cody Harris, it'd be 3 in a row. For Schildhouse, it'd be 3 out of 5. So, I mean, man, this is one of those that if you want a surefire bet, you want an easy way to win some money in Vegas, I'd have to say it's got to be one of these two.
Yeah, just a surprise to see these two show up this season. They have not run consistently with Sim500 and then appear here and dominate the races so far this season. We've been at a bunch of different racetracks. Certainly, this is our first 5.5 miles that to see these two out front again doesn't bode well for the rest of the field. They're going to have to do a little more homework as I'm really surprised at the run for Tyler Dalton. He's mired back there in 13th. The car has not been good for him tonight for whatever reason. Doesn't seem to be showing a lot of speed, and I'm just kind of surprised at that.
He qualified so well too. Started outside front row. I mean, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a race pace situation, what it is. I'd like to pick his brain a little bit and kind of see if it's strategy, race pace, just comfort with the setup, what it might be going through. Because he's again, just not where I would expect him to be, all things regarded. Race recap as it stands here, lap 96 of 125, 30 laps to go. We've had 3 cautions for a total of 9 laps of those 97 that have been on the clock, and 5 leaders with 8 lead changes. So, and we never went over the weather, but it's sunny mid-afternoon Las Vegas, so track's 98 degrees, air 73 degrees, not a lot of humidity, and it's 1:35 p.m. virtual standard time. So plenty there to give.
Yeah, look, these top 3 have broken away. They're out probably by a quarter straightaway. But this battle from 2nd back to 10th will not quit. Justin Fuller up against the outside fence. We're almost 3 wide on the exit of turn 2. Here is the LaRue number 22. Nelson Rivera is on the charge. He's quietly just keep picking him off. He's down underneath Chad Coleman. He came from deep within the field here tonight. Started 13th. Was back a ways earlier in the race and now making his way in to knock on the door for a top 5. Karlovaj, he's just a wheelman. This guy is quiet, consistent, fast. He puts in smooth laps, and whenever long runs come to play, this number 60 always rises up into the top 10 as the race goes on.
Yeah, and sometimes that's all you need to be, is just a long run, sort of quiet night is what I like to call it. Just you don't have to have amazing 1-lap pace. You don't have to be the fastest through, a qualifying lap. But if you can just be consistent and smooth in those long runs, it can make a world of difference in your race. So if you do it just right, you can have a great time here. Jump back because Anthony Calatoni just got passed by Brian Macklin, and Calatoni about to get passed by Glenn Campbell in the 44. They're down low, running through. Still keeping an eye here because Karlovaj, there's a little bit of a wiggle. Macklin trying to go up the inside, gets a little wiggle. Karlovaj gets a little wiggle on the high side there, and Karlovaj will be down into 10th place. And then look at that, Anthony Calatoni trying to take advantage of the loss of pace. Going to try to pass down the inside in that Falcon Giants number 84, and not able to make it stick off of 2. Is going to look to push down into 3 and 4, and we'll keep things going nice and smooth to the inside. Looks like we'll have the pass off the exit of 4 because that 60 again. We're seeing those turn 4 wiggles hit people. They're not enjoying it.
Starting to see the 51 come back. I feel like Justin Fuller rode to the outside for a while. We talked about switching your lane, changing the pressure on the tires as to tire wear and tire temps, and I believe those number of laps, we saw about a dozen laps or so where Justin Fuller was up on the high side, maybe cooled the good years down, and now he's coming back forward again. He's right on the back bumper of the 93 of Kevin DeBrown, and closing in to see if he can get back to the 4th position out front. Top 3 running kind of nose to tail, not much change here. They came upon DeAndre Kane just a moment ago. The top 2 cars had to take a low evasive action in turn 3. Wesley Donaldson was able to run high through it. He got a good run off of turn 4, but unable to mount a challenge, and there he goes, brushing against the outside wall on exit of turn 4. Yeah, somebody's going to want to buy the right side off of the 91. It's going to have plenty of patina after this race.
That it is. It's one of those that the more I watch drivers tap that wall on the exit of 4, the more I just wonder why there's even a wall there. Just let them run all the way out there and sling that car back through. They'd be just fine, right? And no, this isn't Phoenix, so we send things through, keep things around. We're getting within lap 105 now. Coming up quick and fast. We'll be within 20 to go before we know it. We'll be within 10 to go before we know it as we bring things through. This is the 51 on your screen of Justin Fuller with Kevin DeBrown there in the number 93 in 5th place, following things through and around and trying to keep things battling. Chad Coleman looking like a lot of pace here today. Is going to send it up the inside of the 93 into turn 3, and we'll make that pass stick before we even hit the apex and gets that pass done. Coleman going to start to go on a charge, I think. And oh, there was a wiggle in the background though from that was not Sean Macklin, that was Brian Macklin indeed. So one of the Macklins having a certified Code Brown moment.
I'll tell you, these drivers have had their hands full. This track seems easy to race, but you know, you get that draft and you get that run down in turn 4, and it's so easy to want to slam the throttle down. But as the tire wear occurs, these drivers have to be more and more patient with coming up off of turn 4, especially, it looks like.
Yeah, we keep things moving through. We're 44 laps into the stint for all of the drivers that pit. So are they going to need one more pit stop? Am I doing my math right in my head? Are they going to need like a splash and dash and go? I don't think so.
It's like going to. I'm wondering if anybody is out back saving fuel, if that is the circumstance.
It'd be a very smart decision. Paul Crumry, I know you were watching earlier. You didn't make it tonight, so if you're around, tell me what the fuel run is here. Are we looking for one more pit stop tonight? Somebody has to know, and give us a shout out in YouTube chat if you do. Again, if you're around, if you're floating through and you're watching, definitely just let us know and tell us in chat, because very clearly my fuel numbers in my head are not doing math, but also you're asking me to do math on a Monday night, and well, it's Monday, so I don't think I have to say anything beyond it's Monday. Sending it around here. 17 laps to go here for this round of Las Vegas with Sim500 here with the Cook's Landscape Group. And of course, Cook's Landscaping serving the Albemarle and Stanley County since 1999. Through excellent work and referrals from satisfied customers, it's grown to serving over 400 customers in the 9 adjacent counties. Cook's Landscape Group is excited to join the Faster Pastor Motorsports and the Sim500 Cup iRacing League here for the 2025 season. We're excited to have them on board to be sponsoring Sim500 to bring them to your screen. Shieldhouse going through lap traffic. Chad Coleman here, still leading the charge here for 4th place. Justin Fuller dropping behind that number 93. Nelson Rivera trying to charge things through. The top 3 are really sort of settled into the run at this point. They've pulled a good chunk of a gap, and really it's everyone from Chad Coleman back that's pushing each other.
I want to bet that these drivers are saving fuel, although they don't appear to be. They're running out front and continue to run away from the field. I went back and looked at some previous notes. Unfortunately, I didn't get to race Vegas this week. Power outage happened at my house, and Kevin DeBrown in the fence off of turn number 2. That's going to let Justin Fuller slip by and take over that 5th position. But my previous notes indicate that they could go 60 as Fuller sideways off of the corner again.
Oh, and there's a spin in the background. That's the number 60, Jason Carlavage, going into the grass all the way down on pit lane. Goodness gracious.
He's been penalized too for being fast on pit road. He's going to have to go and serve a penalty. 60 laps. We went back to green on lap 64. Add 60 to 64, 124. Race length, 125. So you're right. We're right on the cusp of whether they have to duck in. But given the pace these drivers are running, I want to believe that they've been saving fuel. Although up front, top 2 have broken away, and Wesley Donaldson has dropped off a little bit. Could that be a fuel save moment?
It definitely might be, because here's the thing. We got the stint tracker here on the timing tower. And if they go all the way to the end, anyone who pit in on that last caution will be on lap number 63 of the stint. So they'll have to save 3 laps worth of fuel across the run. We've seen the way a lot of these drivers have been racing. They ain't been saving no fuel. Let's be honest, Kevin, they're not saving fuel.
They don't seem to be. It's a little late in the game to try and save fuel with 12 to go, too. So, I mean, I was watching Donaldson. He didn't hit the wall or do anything egregious. He just backed out of it and let the top 2 drive away. So I have to wonder if he might have lifted a little bit to try and save some fuel. You would think he would be better off riding behind somebody, and for a moment there he was behind DeAndre Kane, and now he's back out by himself. And up front, it's relentless. Cody Harris is pushing the 20 off of turn 2 pretty much. The 2 of them run nose to tail. Here comes Harris for the look on the inside. He's to the quarter panel, side by side on the entry to turn number 3. Schildhouse seeing the 95 out his left side window as they continue to be side by side out of turn 4. Schildhouse with the advantage. Harris did not go away though. They are dead even at the line here in the entry to turn number 1. Who's it going to be? Good run for the 95 up off the bottom. Can he stay with him on exit? He does. I would assume we're going to see a little side draft. We do. Harris pulls down to the white line. It is dead heat down through turn number 3. Schildhouse looks like he's got the advantage off of 4. Will he be able to clear him? By a whisker, he's able to pull back in front.
10 laps to go, and I have a feeling that that is the first real push for the lead that we're going to see that number 95 of Cody Harris take. Remember, this is your 2 and 2, so these are the drivers that are really pushing right now to make that run, make that opportunity stick, and get the 3rd win of 5 races here for either driver. It'd be historic. It'd be huge to see either driver do that. I don't want to say historic because I haven't dug through the league stats to know who's done it before and who hasn't. So we're not going to say historic. We're just going to say that it'd be very, very impressive either way. Cody Harris down the inside of turn 1 and 2, 8 laps to go here. And at the moment, Harris going through, they've got a little bit of traffic of the 49, and Harris gets a little bit loose there. And when Harris gets that little bit loose, he had to back out of it. That's going to give Schildhouse just a 1/10 of breathing room.
It is so hard to carry the momentum out of turn 2 and up to the straightaway on the backstretch from that low line. Top line almost always has the advantage, but Cody Harris back on the attack is between a hard place and a rock right now. As it is one thing to catch him, it's another thing to pass him, but he's doing every trick he has in the book, and I have to wonder, what would you do, Brad, to try and get by right now? Harris, high entry into 3. He's going to get the run off of 4. He's got good momentum, but slipped a little bit. Schildhouse going to cover him and lead the lap.
I'm going to be real honest with you. If I'm Cody Harris, I would almost be banking that Schildhouse is going to run out of fuel, and I'd be trying to figure that one out, because here's the thing. We're hitting lap 57 of the stint. As they come through, it'll be 58 when they cross the line with 5 laps to go. They've got to make it 63 laps. We're riding on board here with Cody Harris because I want to see what he's doing for fuel saving, if anything. And I mean, even then, not a lot going on here. It's going to be splash and dashes through the field, I'd imagine. Or maybe they have just enough to the end and we just don't get any burnouts from whoever wins. 5 laps to go as they cross the line. Who is feeling low? Oh,
wow. I don't think they're saving fuel because he was down in 4th.
And it's Sean Macklin that brings out the caution. What happened here?
You leave it in 5th gear, and we saw him running 4th there. They were running wide open. So, wow, this is going to change everything.
Say that again, man. And I'll give you a hint what happened. They were 3 wide going into turn 4. So this is the 51, the 94, the 93. 3 wide coming into turn 4, and well, 2 just doesn't go into 1, let's be honest. It's not an ideal moment there to have.
Yeah, when you get down to 10 to go, you're going to take as much racetrack as you can. And that was really just a real estate squabble off of turn number 4.
Indeed. And while the drivers are taking this time, everyone's going to be pitting in. They're going to be getting some fuel. They're going to be getting set up. We're going to have a green-white checker to the end. We're going to take a quick break here in the booth. We're going to let you watch another one of the sponsors here of the series. Transervice has a quick little advertisement for you. It's the only break we'll take here tonight. I won't say the only ad, but the only break during the race we'll take tonight as everyone comes in. We'll be back with you here in about 60 seconds.
Industries across the board utilize fleet trucks on a daily basis, from your local utility company to your grocery store. And many of these companies choose full-service fleet leasing. With a traditional lease, you're responsible for everything after you get the truck. But a full-service lease includes all the maintenance and other services at a set cost. Regardless of the scope or range of your fleet needs, Transervice will engineer a fully customized, full-service fleet leasing solution optimized to your requirements. From asset acquisition requiring no capital investment, to the engineering, configuration, and selection of your fleet equipment, to the people, facilities, and equipment to keep your fleet maintained and repaired. Transervice gives you everything you need, with advantageous fleet pricing based on our national account status, compliance expertise, inspections, licensing, permitting, personal property taxes, nationwide roadside service. We cover it all for you. Contact us today to learn why leading companies rely on Transervice for complete turnkey leasing solutions.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back there, and thank you, Transervice, for being another one of the sponsors here of the Sim500 Cooks Landscape Group Cup Series. You find us round 5, Las Vegas Motor Speedway, and well, what do you find here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway? A green-white checkered, because we couldn't just send this thing off with a solid run through. We have to spice things up a little bit. We're not NASCAR throwing cautions for no cause, but of course when a car is sitting around backwards on the front stretch, you got to throw a caution. So I'd say that's a caution for cause if there ever was one. Race recap as it stands. It is 3 laps to go, 4 cautions, 5 leaders, 9 lead changes. And let me tell you, I don't like cutting to commercials, but of course we got to do what we got to do. But look at this top 5 as it stands. Wesley Donaldson, Cody Harris, Justin Fuller, Tyler Dalton, David Schildhouse in 5th. David Schildhouse took 4 tires. A lot of the field only took 2. Chad Coleman also took 4 tires. So, Kevin, my question for you as they come around the backstretch here is, who's going to be dangerous?
Yeah, we saw Cody Harris had to back up a little bit with taking 2 tires. That's why he's sitting there in second. I'll tell you, the driver is going to be licking his chops as Justin Fuller. He wants to win here tonight. This is a reset. We saw how fast he was. And there's a couple of these drivers that are known to be able to boogie down when it comes to short runs. Really, what some of them want to do here is not make a mistake and give away a great run. The 84 of Calantoni needs to finish where he is.
Who can roll the dice, Kevin? That's the question on my mind as we go green here through Las Vegas. Let's look at this run. Everybody's spreading out pretty quick. I see 5 wide all the way in the back of the pack. Am I seeing that wrong?
I don't think so. Donaldson out front, out of turn 2. He's got the lead. He's got Justin Fuller full of the mirror as yellow. Is going to come out. We're going to have to take a pause here. Is looks like, and I just said it. I don't know if this was the jinx, but the 84 is sitting on the backstretch.
And that was Anthony Calantoni. And Calantoni, we saw there right before the camera cut, kind of thin things through. And, well, we'll give you an idea of why. And, well, my good idea of why is that he got some help from the number 22 of Nelson Rivera. Here's your replay. Little wiggle there on the exit of 2. Wiggle. No contact, actually. I'll take my words back. Nelson Rivera, you are cleared of any charges of contact there. That was just the 84, unfortunately, having his own little moment and getting things going. But it does bring us into, well, green-white checker number 2 of the night. And what does that mean for tonight? Well, I'll tell you what. I think this is going to be where things really go. You're going to have the green, you're going to have the white, and the next flag ends it. So we'll see how this happens here. We saw the green, white checkers in Phoenix. We're going to see another green, white checkered here in Vegas. And I don't want to say who's feeling lucky. I feel like I've worn that pun out throughout our hour and a half on the air here. Kevin, what's a good pun here for the end?
Put your chips all in. Right now, it's time to go. Hammer down. Look for the opportunity. It is possible the two drivers will come together and open a hole for you to shoot. And who knows, maybe Tyler Dalton gets win number 1 on the season. I feel terrible. I broadcast jinxed the Jersey guy. I'm sorry, Anthony Cantoni. I have to get over that.
Commentator's curse. It's such a dreaded thing. Not saying you're going to see that on a clip on PTR TV, but just saying that I will definitely be showing that off somewhere. Because everyone loves a good commentator's curse. Let's be honest. It's something that everyone says, no, those don't exist. But yeah, if you ask me, I definitely think you can call them out every once in a while.
Yeah, there's a couple drivers that could sneak away with a win here and they would tear the grandstand down. I would Glenn Campbell. It would be a massive fan favorite if he could get the win. And he's put in a lot of work here tonight, the 22 with Nelson Rivera. He is in the hunt right now. If you're in that top 5, top 6, somewhere in that range, you have a shot at winning this thing. But I'm telling you, the guy you're going to want to beat, he's a beast on fresh tires here, is Justin Fuller. I would be very concerned as Wesley Donaldson with Justin Fuller lined up on the outside.
Yeah, this is going to be fun to see how this runs here. Again, I don't have a prediction for who's going to win at this point. Do you, Kevin? Because I sure don't.
You can't count out Schildhouse and you can't count out Harris. They've been the strongest cars here tonight, and they're sitting there in the hunt. That was a good deal for David Schildhouse. Took 4 tires and got a position in the play. So sitting there in second slot inside line, if he gets a good restart or something happens right in front of him, it wouldn't be a surprise to see him shoot the gap and get himself another win this season.
Ain't nothing to it but to do it. Down the backstretch we go here as we get things ready for green. Again, green, white, checkered rules apply. It's green, it's white, it's checkered. I don't know how else I can really say that one at that point. It's literally just ain't nothing to it but to do it. We'll see who is able to land this one down. Is it going to be Wesley Donaldson in the lead? Is it going to be Justin Fuller? Is it going to be, again, 3 for 5, that second row? Or is it going to be someone beyond that? Tyler Dalton's look strong. They've all been looking pretty strong in the top 10 tonight. Only one way to find out as we come through for the race. It says the checkered flag. Is that correct? It can't be correct.
Yep. Green, here we go. You know, one of the things these drivers know is if the caution comes out, that's going to end the race. So you have got to do everything you can to get to the lead. And right now, Donaldson, with a good start through turns 1 and 2, he's clean to the back straightaway. Schildhouse in his tire tracks. And it is a full court press on the high side.
Look at this. 91 in the lead. Schildhouse is going to go low. Who is going to bring it around? This is going to be really what determines it. And across the line, they take the white flag. 1 to go. Schildhouse in the lead.
Yeah, Donaldson slipped off of turn number 4. He's blocking the 51 of Justin Fuller. He's going to switch to go to the bottom line as Schildhouse in the wall. And off goes Donaldson to the apron. That's going to line up Fuller for the charge in turn 3 as Schildhouse. He's got to cover the bottom, and if he gets a good run, he's going to bring it back to the house.
And coming across the line here for the win, it is going to be Schildhouse. Big wreck in the background, and Justin Fuller in second. Wesley Donaldson in third. Cody Harris there in fourth, and that was a big wreck across the line.
How about it? The right strategy, 4 tires, patient down on the bottom, and I think that played back to the 91. Just couldn't hold his ground. You need to be on the bottom for the restart and block the line, and you open the door, and Schildhouse stuck his nose through and went on to take the win. The splash and go, number 20, is victor for the third time in 5 races. That's an amazing start to the season.
I don't even know what to say about third win of the season. That's one of those that is, it's kind of ridiculous, I'm not gonna lie. Kind of absolutely ridiculous, I'm not gonna lie.
You know, when you open up the season, it's a season of opportunity, and it's one of those things where anybody can come from any place and write their name in the history book. And here David Schildhouse is sending signal to these guys that he's got the speed and he's got the right strategy so far to put himself in contention for a victory. And with that final green-white checker, he was out of it on the first one, but the second one was the one that punched his ticket, and now he cashed in his chips here at Las Vegas.
And David Schildhouse, in your unofficial results, will be the race winner. Justin Fuller in second. We saw Cody Harris try to have a charge there at the end. Wesley Donaldson in third. Kevin Brown in fifth. Nelson Rivera in sixth. Tyler Dalton was able to scrounge it back up from second, dropped way down the field there on the long run pace, but found seventh place in the end. David Comstock in eighth. Stephen Miles in ninth. And Chad Coleman in 10th. From there, 11th, EJ O'Rourke, Jeff Hollingsworth, Glenn Campbell, Robert Friery III, Brian Macklin, Ryan Cook in 16th place, Sean Macklin in 17th, Richard Beasley in P18, Gerald Livingston in P19, Charles Woods rounds out your top 20. From there, it was Jason Pick in 21st, Ron Hollifield, and Anthony Calantoni in 23rd, cursed by Kevin.
Oh.
Well,
Doug Sigmund, good run, 24th for the 04, 25th. Patrick Colby, Brian Wertman comes home 26th tonight, 27th for Charles Van Schaik. Thomas George in the 28th position. Last car to finish all the laps was Joe Hudson in the number 49. Bobby Wetzel in 30th, 31st, 3 laps down. DeAndre Kane, Jason Karlovage 32nd tonight. 33rd will be credited for Bentley Glazer, who dropped out with some damage there. Kevin Stone in the 17. Stoney Benfield, 34th and 35th tonight. 36 goes to Josh Parker. Joey Chatina, 37. 38, Jimmy Coleman. And the last 2 drivers, the 8 of Randy Yoakum and the 08 of James Dewar, scored with 40th tonight.
I'll tell you what do you say we kick off these interviews with a driver that I think I'm going to tell him he owes me dinner. I think I'm telling him he owes the broadcast team dinner, even though he didn't get 3 in a row. He's got 3 for 5. So, I think he should owe us dinner. Schildhouse, I asked you in the Discord here, you threw a GIF with some dice right before practice went live. And I said, are you feeling lucky? And you said never, but here we are. So, did you lie? Were you feeling lucky, or did Lady Luck just have a kind light on you tonight?
Brad, if I have to rely on luck to win these races, I've already lost them. Like, it takes a lot of skill. This is a very competitive field here in the Sim500 Cup Series presented by Cook's Landscaping Group. And luck is a small portion of it. Skill is a big portion of it. And I'm going to tell you this right now. I had a lot of people questioning the 4-tire call on pit road, including last year's champion, Kevin King, was begging me to take 2 tires there at the end. Said that he lost this race, I think, last year to 2 tires when he took 4. So I feel good that I was able to do what he couldn't, because he won a lot of these races last year. I really just felt like 4 tires. If I lose on 4 tires, so be it. I had a hell of a battle with Cody, and it was going to be real exciting if it played out. And I felt pretty good going into 3. If these guys on 2 tires just fired off in there, the way the car was, low air pressure and all that, they were just going to slide right up the track. And wouldn't you know it, that's exactly what happened. And it opened the door, and, well, here we are, 3 for 5. But I ain't buying you dinner.
Hey, it was worth a shot for me to say that. I mean, I don't know. I just had to say it. I got to ask, we were doing some mental calculation up here in the booth, trying to figure out where fuel runs were going to be and where fuel was at. If we hadn't have had the caution come out at the end, how close were you on fuel? Were we completely miscalculating, or was there going to be like a splash and go needed?
I was good by about a lap. It's tough, when I took the lead away. from Justin and was out front. First of all, it made the handling of the car way different because I wasn't in dirty air anymore. So the car built loose a lot more in the clean air, which I was expecting, but it was pretty dramatic. But it was tougher to save fuel, too, knowing that Cody was breathing down my neck. But I was good by a half a lap at worst and 3/4 of a lap at best before that caution flag flew, because as the run went on, the lap time sort of slowed down a little bit. You're using a little less fuel. And so we were going to be okay. It was going to be close. I mean, we wouldn't have had enough if we had a green-white checker without coming to pit road, but we were going to be really good on fuel if it went the whole distance. And I like to think that everyone else up there would have been as well, but it was close. It wasn't comfortable.
I'll tell you what, David, this is a spot you're going to have to get used to being in the booth. How do you and the children feel? And what's the goal for next week for Homestead?
Well, I'm glad. Listen, I made it a little more dramatic off turn 2 than I needed to on the white flag lap when I hit the wall, because it just stopped turning, or my enthusiasm exceeded my grip, whatever you want to say. And I thought I was handing it right to Wesley, and it worked out okay. And I'm glad he held on to his car for a third place finish. I would have felt horrible if I'd wrecked him because I blew it trying to win the thing. But the goal is to win every damn race that I can. That's why I'm here, to win races, win championships, both tonight or in this Monday night series for the Cup Series, and also on Wednesdays in their Xfinity Series. That's why I came over here, and every week I come out and race with these guys validates my decision to come and race here at Sim500. This is an incredible group of people, really competitive field, outstanding broadcasts, great admin team, and it's pushing me to my limit, and it's making me better every week in and week out. And I couldn't ask for anything more than that. So I'm going to win all the races that I can, Brad. Try and win this championship and just be a constant threat up front every week. I mean, we are 3 races in the win column. We have 5 top 5s. I did not think I was going to start off this strong, because I basically did not drive the Cup car at all in 2024. I did Xfinity Leagues. I did Road to Pro with trucks. I didn't do anything with Cup cars, so I felt like I was on the back foot when it came to this car, but I've gotten up to speed pretty quick, and the children are happy. They love seeing a win. They were holding their breath off too, and then they were excited and celebrating. I'm so thankful to have the opportunity to come out here and race with these guys and compete.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's a lot of fun to watch you week in, week out. We're going to let you go enjoy the win, and we'll catch up with you here later, okay?
Yeah, Brad, just before I go, again, a big thank you to Splash Go Graphics for this beautiful paint scheme. To everybody at twitch.tv/Schildhouse. The children get another win. Very exciting. I love Las Vegas, and I'm really glad that I won this race. Big thank you to everybody at Cook's Landscaping Group for supporting the league, and you guys at PTR TV for putting on the broadcast. I can't wait to go back and watch this one. And we'll see you guys next week at Homestead, man. I'm going to go win that one too.
Oh, I'll hold you to it. We'll see what happens, man. And that was your race winner, David Schildhouse. And Kevin England has caught up with our second place driver, Justin Fuller.
Yeah, Justin Fuller pulled down a second after leading over 50 laps here tonight. And Justin, starting from that outside position, it just seemed like the inside had the advantage for the restart. Take us through those last final laps and what you needed to get the victory here tonight.
I've never really done 2 tires on this car, so I didn't really know what to expect, to be honest with you. So I was just trying not to step on it. But yeah, there's a lot of grip, at least to 1 and 2 on the restart. The bottom's definitely the way to be, because you can just run wide open down there, pretty much whatever tires you're on at that point. So short distance around is the way to go. But yeah, I really hated that mid-race caution came out on that first long run, and I felt like I was setting sail there at that point. But it is what it is. Can't really dwell on it. You got to be able to compete through the entire event, and I kind of burned my stuff up trying to stay in the lead there in front of David, Cody, and Wesley, because I felt like clean air was going to mean a lot, and kind of fell back. We were able to work our way back up to about 4th, and then I kind of fell off again. So I don't know. Just happy to come out of here with a clean race and a clean finish compared to last week.
We saw the car on the long run get a little evil for you. It seemed like it was out of the racetrack. The back end was wiggling around for you. I was wondering if clean air was that much of an advantage, but on the long run struggled. But here at the end, it almost felt like when the 2 made contact off turn 2, Schildhouse went up, brushed the wall, came down, and clipped the 91. That might have opened the opportunity, but it seems like you were just a little bit too far back.
Yeah, it would have been pretty cool to get to at least David's quarter panel there to bring him back and maybe go side by side through 3 and 4. But at that point, we had a few laps on the tires, and his 4 tires probably would have been an advantage to 3 and 4, and he would have just cleared me. So wouldn't really mattered. I think second place is all I was going to get out of that. I think if we go green, um, you know, we have a green flag pit stop and we just continue going green. Maybe I have a chance to win the race a little bit better. I don't know. It's hard to bank on that. I was pulling away at that point, so I do feel like I had a lot of long run pace. It just that second long run, I kind of burnt my stuff up, so that's kind of why it looked like I was a little evil out there. Drove it a little harder than I wanted to. I'll have to go back, learn from it. It's just this car, Kevin. I'm not a fan of
Yeah.
this car. Never been good in this car, and I might be able to run up front in it, but I can't do what I want to do with it, and I can't be aggressive, and it's kind of my Achilles. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. We got to take a P2, and congrats to David. I really hate what happened last week. So I'm glad he was able to rebound last week and have a good finish, and then rebound and get a win this week. We're gonna have to bring it to him though. We don't. He's definitely beatable. He's right there. So he's in the right place at the right time and making the right calls, and uh, he's gonna be a force to reckon with all season. That's for sure.
Yeah, everybody took 2. He took 4, and in the end, which is ironic because in the past, 2 tires have won this race, but that ended up being the winning call. I was looking at your stats so far this season. There's nothing to hang your head. You've got 4 top 5s out of 5 races, and your worst finish is an 8th. And I feel like, and talked about it earlier in the show, you're knocking on the door for a win, and maybe it's next week when we roll into Homestead that you'll get the victory. I think it's right around the corner for you, Justin.
Well, it's definitely not gonna be Homestead. I'll be lucky to finish top 10 there probably. That's not a good track for me. I don't know why. Ever since they updated, it's never been good for me. So won't be looking for it there. But we got 3 really good tracks for me after that with Rockingham, Darlington, and Bristol. So Bristol, I think I've won the last 2 or 3 Cup races there in some 500. So really looking forward to that one. Rockingham, I also won there last season. So a couple good tracks really coming up for me, and hopefully we can at least get one of them, one of the 3. If not, let's get all 3 of those. Definitely not going to be Homestead though, unless I luck into it somehow.
Another solid performance for the units Toyota tonight. Justin, floor is yours. Give a shout out to anybody you want to say hello to, and then we'll let you go.
Yeah, thanks to Cook's Landscape Group for sponsoring the series. Thanks to Sim500 and all the admins for what they do. Thanks to you guys for putting on the broadcast. Thanks to everybody in the race. That was a good race. We had a few cautions, but definitely way better than what we had last week. So everybody should be pretty proud of that. Thanks to everybody that watched. Thanks to WBD Diecast for sponsoring me also. Wesley Donaldson for painting my cars up. He didn't paint this unit's car up, but next week we'll break the Cook's Landscaping car back out and run that at Homestead. So unless Wesley decides to finally get me my WBD car painted up. So supposed to be running WBD and Cooks, but it's been units and Cooks because he hasn't had time to get to it. So but yeah, looking forward to looking back to this broadcast tomorrow, picking through it and watching a little bit of it, and see what we can learn for next week at Homestead.
There you go, Justin Fuller, our second place finisher tonight. Congratulations, Justin, and thanks for taking the time to talk to us.
Yep. Thanks. Have a good night.
We'll turn it over to Brad, who's caught up with the third place finisher tonight. That would be Wesley Donaldson in the WBD diecast number 91.
Leslie, first thing I want to point out here is you started 29th and you brought it up into third place. I got to ask, was that how you planned on your night going? Was charging from back to front, or kind of talk me through the race from the driver's seat for you?
Yeah, that definitely wasn't planned to start back there. I didn't get a ton of practice in, and then just didn't do well on my qualifying run. So, I mean, that's the place I do generally like and tend to run pretty well at. So, I mean, 29th is never ideal when you're starting back there. But no, I found that through that first run, I was pretty decent on the long run. As some guys were getting really, really loose there, I was a little loose, but not too bad overall. And then kind of got up to about like 5th or 6th there, and then my tires really fell off on that first run. But I figured if another long run happened like that second run did, I'd be right up there at the end. Still wasn't quite as good as those 2 towards the end, but almost had that strategy call that worked out until I kind of messed that up myself.
Yeah, talk to me about that final restart there, Wesley, because, watching through, and Shillhouse said it himself, he took 4 tires. He wasn't, he was getting told it was the wrong call. It looks like from what I've got that you took 2 tires and, pushing through. Do you think there was anything you could have done different to hold off Shieldhouse there and try to push for the win?
I think the big debate going into that was me and a few teammates were pretty set on taking 2. We knew that if it came down to a situation, no matter what our tires kind of looked like within the last like 20 laps or so, especially on like a green white checkered, that we were going to take 2. It was just a matter of fuel. I felt like I could have added a little bit more fuel than what I did, and then for whatever reason, going into 3 and 4 there, I don't know if I just drove it in too hot or just kind of overestimated the grip level a little bit. But slid up the track there, let David get to the inside of me, and thought I was going to have another shot at it to cut back down off 2, but just didn't have enough time to react once he bounced off the wall there.
Yeah, and looking ahead here, I got to ask you, Homestead Miami coming up. How comfortable are you with that track, and where do you think you're going to put this Misfits Motorsports Chevrolet at?
I like Homestead a lot. It's usually one of my better tracks, so really excited to go there. Hopefully running right up front again. It's been really tough this season. David's been really fast. Cody's been really fast. Fuller's always really fast. So hopefully end up front at the end and maybe in victory lane next time.
Man, Wesley, it was fun to watch you. We're going to let you go celebrate, enjoy your 3rd place. Anyone you want to thank or shout out before we let you go?
Yeah, just thanks to everybody here at Sim500, all the other admins, everybody who helps put this stuff on, all the sponsors, Cook's Landscape Group, Goat Racing Diecast, my company, WBD Diecast, where we make custom diecasts. Yeah, and just like I said, everybody here at the league makes things go. Thanks to you guys for putting on the broadcast every week. I've been enjoying watching them this season. So roll into Homestead next week and hopefully end up in victory lane.
Awesome, Wesley, and a big thanks to you. Congrats on the 3rd place, and we'll catch up with you in Homestead, Miami.
Thank you. See you then.
Well, Kevin, I tell you what, man, I thought this was a fun race. It was fun to kind of see the drivers push and sort of see them run through. They definitely gave it the old, I don't know how to phrase that, the old college try. In the end, 4 tires was the right call.
Yeah, we saw a little mix of everything. A couple cautions changed the complexity of the race, and in the end, same players kind of playing for the victory here. Cody Harris missed 3rd by inches at the line, and you got to give a call to Nelson Rivera, Tyler Dalton, David Comstock, Stephen Miles back again for another top 10. Chad Coleman gets a top 10. Chad's been just kind of quietly in the back half of the top 10, but he's had speed all season long, and I like what we're seeing. I like the mix of drivers that are succeeding early in the season. I think it's going to be a competitive season come the summer months.
I definitely agree with you there. I think the summer is really where you're going to see this series shine and see the big challenges come through. I'm really excited to see what happens. But of course, to get to the summer, we got to go week by week here in Sim500. Next week is Homestead Miami. But if you can't wait a week for more racing action, of course, here on PTR TV, we do have area iRacing trucks coming up tomorrow. Wednesday night, we're going to have GT3 GTP multi-class with Elbows Out Racing. And then Thursday is the double header where we have Xfinity with areas iRacing, and then the Red Sox Racing League GT3 series on Thursday night. So be sure to like, subscribe, stick around and enjoy that. It's been fun to run this through one out. Kevin, I've enjoyed this a lot. As I said, I do think Homestead's going to be a fun one. And I think in the end, we got a good race. So on behalf of Kevin England, my name is Brad. We've taken you start to finish here in the booth around Las Vegas Speedway to find out who was lucky. And join us in 7 days' time where we'll take you around Homestead, Miami. Good night.